That's right, the Mustang's gonna be back. I'm gonna take care of something that I've been needing to do since I purchased the car in January of 2024. And I'm hoping that it's gonna solve a lot of my life's problems. Let's get to it. Sorry, Ben, you're still taking a mental health day. Okay, let's see here. This is my collection of projects I have yet to complete on my Mustang. Don't judge me. I'll get to it when I get to it. This is it. Okay, let's get it. Let's put this stuff back though, because we're not animals. And we're organized. Sometimes too organized. Is there such a thing as too organized? Probably not. Not in my book. Alright, what's in the box? What's in the box? Tell me what's in the box! The clutch cable, I'm replacing it. I'm replacing the clutch cable, I'm replacing the clutch quadrant, and I'll tell you why. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll post the other Mustang videos that I have right here. But let's get on to it. Oop. Alright, so I don't remember which one I got. Oh, I got the Steeda one. Steeda double hook billet clutch quadrant. Adjustable Firewall cable doohickey doodah. A new fan-dangled schwangle with a frunicki clickety clicky on the end. And a toe tag. Okay. Gas. Oh my god. It's a ghastly engine bay. I've not done much to it. Well, I mean, I've done a little bit to it, but I have not cleaned it up as I should have, for sure. No, I know. I know I need a new battery. I know it. But spending $150 on something that I need versus like $1,000 on something that I don't need, like coilovers and stuff like that, or race seats, or underglow, what are you gonna choose? Like, battery's gonna lose every time. Oh, I'm nerve-wracking. Alright, so I will pull it in forward to the shop, and we'll put it on those ramps to jack it up. I think, unless I can just jack it up on one side. We'll take a look. 5/16 and it wasn't a 5/16. Oh man, oh, that's some suck right there, dude. I bet you it's like a 10mm 5/16. Oh my god. Okay, 5/8 here. Oh hell. Okay. Car number 2, watch the other video where I talk about my first car being a 1984 Honda Civic sedan. So my second car was, I want to say it was an 86, either an 86 or an 88 BMW 730. Now, keep in mind, this was like 2004 maybe when I got this car, so the car was quite old. It was no longer the lap of luxury that it once was. My dad was trying to help me find a new car, like a new used car after the Civic meltdown, and I had a little bit of money saved, and so my dad and I went to these, like, you know, side of the road junky car lots, and he saw in the corner a silver BMW 7 Series, and he was like, Nina, this is a car you should get. And it wasn't even for sale, but my dad talked to the dealer, and the dealer was like, well, the gas gauge doesn't work and this and that, and it needs a new battery. It was basically a heap of junk. It was a heap of junk. And my dad was like, you should get this car. And I just, you know, I listened to my dad. He seemed excited about it, and I wanted to make him happy, so I picked that car. And again, I think it was $2,000, which was actually kind of a lot for that car. And it needed a new battery, the gas gauge didn't work, all that stuff. The main thing that was horrible with that car is it had electrical gremlins everywhere. Like, you'd be driving home at night, and all of a sudden the headlights would decide that they didn't want to, you know, work anymore. You were just driving home in the dark. If you're lucky, your high beams would work, so that would be okay. But anyways, this car, because I was beyond poor. I was working retail, I was going to college, you know, I was making, again, like, you know, $8 an hour, something like that, and gas was a little cheaper back then, and I literally would put $5, $10 max in my tank at a time. But then I never knew how much gas I had, so it was just like this life of risk. And I ran out of gas so many times. I feel like I pushed the car more than I actually drove it. So there was this one time where I had gotten, it was again during my college years, and I had an internship. It was an internship with this stylist of the time, because I was in fashion school actually, and I was gonna be late for the internship, and it was pouring rain, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody, and I was sick too. I remember, like, I had like a flu or fever, but I wasn't gonna call out because I needed the reference to get a job at a college. So I show up to work to my internship in Hollywood, and she gives me an envelope, a yellow envelope of like checks and stuff that I need to take to the bank out in like Lancashire to deposit. So I get in my car and I'm driving down Sunset, and all of a sudden I run out of gas, and it's pouring rain, and so I end up without gas right in the middle of an intersection. And again, like, this car is huge. It's a big, heavy 4-door sedan. I no problem. I get out of the car and I immediately, you know, start pushing it. I can't get enough leverage with the door open, so I have to go around to the back. I push it through the intersection where it gets going enough, and I run around and I jump inside. It's not going to start. I can't jump start it. It's an automatic, but at least I just wanted to roll it to safety. So I end up getting enough go to like swoop it into the back of a tattoo shop. It was Purple Panther or something like that. So I parked there, and I decided to walk. So I had a gas can, and I walked, and it was pouring rain, and I'm just walking, you know, wondering what the heck, where did I go wrong in my life? I'm walking, that's fine, I'm gonna get to a gas station. It was a very long time. I'm walking up Sunset Boulevard, and I finally get to a gas station, and it is out of service. Like, the entire gas station, it was just out of business. So I keep walking, I find another gas station, and I am like just drenched. I'm completely soaking wet. And I'm putting gas in my little, 5 whatever gallon gas tank, plastic gas tank, and this couple pull up next to me in this white Jeep. And they're just so unassuming. They're innocent looking, and they're looking at me, and I'm also like paranoid. So anyways, they must have taken pity on me, so they offered me a ride back to my car. So I looked at them, and they didn't look like criminals. They seemed pretty square. There was a couple, like, what couples go around like killing people? So I get in their car. They let me sit in the front seat. The woman sits in the back seat. Literally the moment the door closed, I regretted it. I kept thinking, oh my God, she's behind me. She's gonna like stab me with a knife, stick a bag over my head. I'm dead. This couple just goes around town picking up people that have run out of gas. Like I'm dead. I'm the next victim. So I decided to put my gas tank to the left side of me, thinking like, if somebody makes a move, I'm gonna hit him with the gas tank. And then I've got my hand like really close to the door, so I could just, open it and, jump out if I need to. And I'm just sweating, and they're like, oh, where's your car? I'm like, oh, behind, this place, Purple Panther tattoo. They get close enough, and I can't take it anymore. I'm like, I'm good. Just drop me off here. And they're like, oh, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't even think I let them stop the car, and I, just got out. They weren't gonna kill me, obviously. They probably thought I was gonna kill them. So I get to my car with my gas tank, put in the car, and unfortunately, it still didn't start. Like, it was a finicky thing, so if you let the gas run out, sometimes it just wouldn't start back up. So through all that trouble, I didn't get the car started. But I called my dad. Well, first I walked all the way back up. I don't remember what street it was. I had to walk up to Crescent, made it back to my internship, soaking wet. I protected the yellow envelope. I knocked on the door, and she's like, oh my gosh, Nina, what happened? She was such a sweet lady. And I just told her the whole story. I said, can I use your phone? She let me use her phone. I called my mom, who woke up my dad, and it was like 3 o'clock, but whatever. And my dad didn't have his car either because we were so poor. My dad borrowed his mom's car, which was like a gold Crown Victoria. He drove down to Hollywood. Somehow he got it started. I don't remember how. And we, wobbled it, limp moded it home all the way from Hollywood to Glendale. And that was not the end of that car. Many more fun times. That was just the beginning. All right. So once that dust cover is off, there's the clutch fork, and you have to push it in. And it's very hard to push in. You have to push through like the hard part, and then it's easier to hold down. Being under the car, I don't have the arm strength. I didn't even have the leverage to like push it down. I was holding on to like, the sway bar to try to like push leverage down. And then I thought, well, you know what? My legs are the strongest part of my body, and I'm lucky enough where I'm flexible enough where I could like lay on my back and get my get my feet up and like put my feet onto the pry bar, push that down, and then slip under with my hand to like slip the clutch cable out of the fork. It sounds unbelievable, but just watch. I did it. It was achievable. Maybe unbelievable, but I achieved it. So there's a bracket that's holding the cable, and it says it's a 3/8, but it's not a 3/8. So I've got an 8, a 6, and a backup emergency crescent wrench ready to tackle it. take a guess. Now there's clearly like a connector, thinking back to it, I don't remember what it was, but it was, you know, on the valve cover, it's a connector, and it was right in my way of undoing those little teeny screws. If I just undid the connector, I would have had an easier time, but why do it the easy route when I can just struggle and curse my way through the hard route? So it was challenging, but I have this like flexi hose, do hickety doo dah, and that helped me get the bolts off. I got into the firewall. It ate my gloves. Okay. Now we gotta go in the car and disconnect it from under the, you know, the pedal situation. I despise being under here. I despise it. Alright, this thing here. Should I replace the quadrant or nah? There we go. I don't want to replace the quadrant. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Nope, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. It's plastic. I should do it. I just don't want to do it right now. I'm going to do it. So it's just these two things. And the spring, I just don't want to do it. Oh, Getting it into the firewall was hard because of the bolts and my hands and stuff. There's two tiny little bolts. They're self-tapping. They're like a 1/4 inch and it just was hell to get in, but we did it. The under part of the job is done. Well, as you can see, I'm not completely done. The sky was getting gloomy and it was actually going to start raining, and you know, then the big part of the job next was going to be adjusting it. So I was going to have to reinstall install the new clutch quadrant, and you know, half my body was going to be under the seat, under the dashboard. The other half was going to be exposed to the elements. So can you imagine, it's already painful and backbreaking being under the dashboard, and then my lower half of my body being exposed and like rain starts coming down. Like that's nope, not doing it. So all I did was I reattached the clutch cable to the existing quadrant, and I just parked the car so I could continue it the next time. Since it wasn't adjusted, the clutch was the gear wouldn't engage until like the clutch was way up. So you know, usually like the gears, the transmission will start engaging like when the clutch is about 3 inches, you know, from its starting point. I was like driving and I was like this, but I moved it, and that's fine. So the reason that I wanted to change out this clutch cable, well, interestingly enough, it was very hard to get into gear sometimes, and it was seemingly getting worse and worse and worse. And I really thought that I was going to need a new clutch. I had already researched it. I reached out to some friends even on Instagram who had done it, who had, you know, replaced the clutch on their Mustangs, just like see, I don't know if they had any tips on which kits they used or parts or whatever. So I was very well prepared to basically replace the clutch. It was going to have to be a garage job, so I was going to have to, you know, move the Bentley out into the street for a little bit. And yeah, I was going to do it. But I have this clutch cable kit that I bought, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this first just to see if it helps. And it's a spoiler alert, so I'm not gonna tell you. You'll have to wait and see. But I will tell you this. I just happen to have the old quadrant here. It's this plastic one, and I will say, so the cable, you know, wraps around here, locks into there, but the cable had ground down this valley in here. You can kind of see it. It ground it down. Well, if it grinds it down, your clutch cable goes from doing this to being more like around here, and you have less tension. So I think that was, I don't know, one of the reasons it wasn't quite doing what it needed to do. But anyways, you'll see in the next video once I get it all installed and adjusted. So I'll see you next time. We'll finish off the job. We'll take it for a drive. Let me know where you want me to take you. If we should go to good old Taco Bell, Del Taco, McDonald's, whatever. Let's hit up a drive-through. Tell me where you want to go. Tell me where you want to go. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye. By the way, look at my shirt. Can you just look at my shirt? Can you see that? It's Jason. It's my Dixon Jason flannel.
I get this feeling like a bag of bricks.
Someone asked me what my first car accident was that I got into. And I said I've never gotten into a car accident in my life, but that's a lie. So when I was like 5 years old, I don't know why I did this, but my mom would drive around my grandma's car. So I was like 5 years old. My mom had my grandma's company car. I don't remember what it was, like a Taurus or Marquis. I don't know, it was something ghastly, you know, ghastly color. It was a ghastly car, and the stick shift. It was an automatic, and the stick shift was like in the steering wheel column. And I remember we were at my Grandpa Joe's house, and I don't know how or why, but I snuck the keys away from my mom. And I got in the car, and I locked the door. They realized I was in the car, and they were banging on the door, let me in, what are you doing? And I remember this pretty vividly, and I wasn't going to. I don't know what I was thinking, but I put the keys in the car, and I started it. I started the car. And I guess I had seen my mom do it so many times, but I went ahead and I put it into drive. And I tried, you know, I couldn't really reach the pedal because I was 5, but I reached the pedal enough to jerk the car forward, and basically hop it up on the curb, because it was parked like right in front of like our grassy driveway. I scratched the bumper. That wasn't good, and I scared myself, so I finally did unlock the door. And I remember, my mom was pretty pissed off because she was afraid that my dad was gonna murder her, because my dad would just get mad over anything. And my uncle, I remember he was like, no problem. My uncle goes into the garage there at my grandpa Joe's house, and he pulled out the old trusty can of turtle wax. Turtle wax has a special place in my heart for many reasons, but pulled out that can of turtle wax. It was like the brown one, I believe, and that's what you did back then. Like, you buffed things out. I mean, sure, you still buff things out, but it was like magic, especially to a kid. Like, I just scratched the bumper, and my uncle got this magic sauce, and like, he buffed it out, and it was gone. And my dad never found out, my grandma never found out, and I lived to see another day. Fancy that. But that was my first car accident. That was my fault. I'll tell you about the next one next time. But it wasn't my fault.